Hello friends, hope you are well. It's that time of the week. Welcome to this week's Dirt Report, the weekly tech and telco news show making sure you're in the know without needing a truckload of toilet paper. Well, I hope the toilet paper apocalypse is treating you well, but we haven't got time for a long intro this week. If you want a long intro or toilet paper, seek out the Murdoch Press. So let me say welcome to those who have been subscribed for a while and welcome to all the newcomers. Make sure you like this video if you do, of course, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more, as it helps this channel stay afloat on YouTube. So today we have TPG not knowing what tax to pay, NBN starts connecting our airports, and NBN resisting pressure to create cheaper plans, and finally Vodafone 5G goes live. So let's start with TPG. Besides the merger with Vodafone, they have other issues on the go, and while you might have a hard time working out your own tax bill at home, imagine corporations like TPG. Still easier than the American tax return system, but nonetheless. You may be wondering, what tax am I talking about? Well, it's the soon to be passed but way overdue levy legislation, the Regional Broadband Scheme, which will see a charge of $7.10 against each residential service. The problem is when you take into account the business services, as residentials are easy. The amount of services minus 25,000 service connections that are free, and then times the dollar amount, and you should have your result. But the business services are not defined well enough, and companies like TPG and Telstra and actually many others are struggling to work out their liability. The main problem is operating business services versus premises that are categorized as businesses. Chief Financial Officer Stephen Banfield said, "To us, there's still not sufficient clarity on how that will be applied for us to be able to reliably estimate the number of services that will be impacted by the tax in the corporate sector." He still could not estimate TPG's exact liability to this date. The telcos want to maintain that a business service which is active is the only one that needs to be paid on, and the legislation needs to be clear so they can report real figures to their shareholders, and obviously it's all about the money. The bill is slated to go through next month. TPG and others are expecting more clarity then. There are other problems for TPG, however. You see, the NBN project has not been kind to their margins, and well, overall, the profit margins have dropped when customers moved from DSL to NBN. Landline voice demand has dropped drastically, and overall NBN profitability has slumped, and we have talked about this a lot in the past. I can understand the voice services, as many people move to mobiles. Service landlines are a thing of the past, and to be honest, ISPs do not make it easy to connect a home phone on the NBN. Most of the time, you can't even bring your own hardware, and connecting each one depends on the ISP, as they all have a different setup, and some systems don't even work with specific ISPs, which to me is a joke in itself. I thought the NBN was supposed to bring everything together into one technology. Hey, let me know below if you're on the NBN and have a phone line. I'd love to know what you actually use it for, and if you still receive any calls apart from spam. Let's move on. NBN Co is adding a lot of caveats to their everything will be completed by June statement. They've created a category called complex premises. Now, not saying this is new, but the complex categories have been used to describe locations with extreme difficulty to connect, and airports do come under that. You see, NBN Co is out to connect the Australian airports to their own network, and on paper it sounds very trivial. Airports already have connections, and don't airports already have a vast built-up local network infrastructure you just plug into? Well, it's not so much the ditch digging in regards to airport, it's the legal permits and paperwork. Due to the nature of airports, the amount of hoops NBN Co has to jump through to connect the network is extreme. International laws, aviation laws, negotiations in regards to costs, even how to install the system. In fact, Chief Network Deployment Officer Catherine Dyer said, NBN Co was unable to use land access power contained in federal telecommunication laws to complete the airport works. Well, airports are not the only complex premises. There are over 100,000 other locations that are tagged as complex. One of the main issues faced is around the Aboriginal Heritage Impact Permits. For example, City of Parramatta Council notes that its geographical areas has places and items that are important to the local Aboriginal community or Aboriginal people of New South Wales. These are places or objects that people have a connection to, both physically and spiritually. So NBN Co has to trade very lightly and get the required approvals put in place, the right controls, and maintain a cultural sensitive approach to the design and construction of NBN infrastructure. Now, treading lightly isn't the only thing NBN has to contend with. It looks like NBN Co is also feeling the pressure of creating cheaper NBN plans. And with Telstra removing the NBN 100 plans for new fiber to the node customers, it's the perfect storm that is starting to brew. NBN Co is continuously opposing any request to lower the price of their entry-level products, citing long-term income damage, and for the first time this week, the executive team have publicly stated so. You see, our beloved government sees entry-level internet as 12 down, 1 up, with unlimited data for $60 per month. And to be honest, that's absolute crap. $60 a month for entry-level internet access is a lot. And I have to agree with the others who are calling it to be halved at $30 a month. Well, it is a very reasonable and affordable price at $30 for those price-sensitive households. Those who need to pay bills, access email, and watch the occasional how to fix a leaky tap video, 12 down and 1 up is absolutely enough. NBN is worried that if they reduce the pricing, people will drop their current plans to the lower priced ones because they'll feel that the price difference does not justify the speed increase and maybe the value they get out of their internet on a day-to-day basis. Well, of course, there is a fine balance that some, maybe many people will impose on their spendings. If you can pay $40 less per month, and if you are able to do everything that you've been doing before with a lower speed, and the answer is yes, I'm willing to live with that, then NBN Co loses out on that revenue. Many people who are currently connected to expensive plans might just make the switch, especially if they're already on the fence about spending that much. Those $60 plans, the entry ones, will be cut if there is a cheaper one to connect to. I've always said that the Australian internet is far too expensive for what you get, and our international statistics and standings state the same. Now, a brief Google search shows that there is no price difference between the NBN 50 plans and the NBN 12 down plans. So maybe a few dollars here and there, but no basic difference. They're all still $60 or $54.50. There's no entry level pricing. There is no entry, there's no 0 to 60. Where is that gap? It's not being bridged. The plans are there, but the dollars are not, and that has to change. NBN Co created this problem themselves by creating this weird pricing structure and CVC costs where they can't lower anything because then they're out of pocket. Let me know below if you're on the 12 down 1 up plan. I'd like to know if you're actually satisfied with those speeds and if it makes sense and if you think it should be priced lower. I'm sure you would, but is it reasonable? I think it is. Alright, to our final news topic, and it's Vodafone. Good news for them and maybe for us. They have finally joined the 5G race this week by making their first 5G site live. However, it's only one area for now, Parramatta. Now, Vodafone Chief Executive Officer Iñaki Baroda said, "This is an exciting occasion for us as a business and for our customers. We have worked tirelessly to put our customers at the heart of our 5G plans, and we are proud to switch on our first live site today in Parramatta." What's interesting is that unlike other providers, Vodafone will not charge extra for customers to connect to their 5G services on their plans. Now, let me put on my customer hat, and I am very happy about that announcement. If this is just the next generation of 4G, just like we were on 3G beforehand, why should I pay a premium on top of the services that I pay to just use the next generation that the whole country will be upgrading to? If I sign up for a plan, they should price it accordingly and not complicate the process for customers. You see, customers often pay more for convenience. And for now, with 5G, it's not like the coverage is actually any good, especially if it starts with the one area for Vodafone. So Baroda said that when the 5G arrives to our customers with 5G devices, they will get 5G network access at no extra charge. An official quote. Very happy with that. Vodafone is looking to set up hundreds of sites in the next few years, and just like 4G, expect the coverage to increase over time. It's not going to be instant, not for anyone, but let me know below if you're excited about the Vodafone 5G expansion. Better yet, if you're in Parramatta, will you sign up or are you already using 5G? Do let me know, I'd love to find out. So friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Remember to stay safe out there when battling for the essentials. It's a wild world when the wealthiest person could be Gary from Rockingham with his house full of toilet paper. If you like this video, then tap that like button. If you would like to see more, please consider subscribing as it helps us out a lot. Thanks for watching and bye!